Okay, now give me a sec. Can you hear me now? Let's just swap this over. Oh, and I didn't change the title either. Gonna have to do that. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Got the mic here ready to go. All right, hopefully you can hear me quite clearly. Everything's fine, set to go. Gonna change the title on this thing to Drupal 11. It is out. What now? Let's get a description. Oh, Oh, okay. Building my Drupal Site Builders course, and Drupal 11 is out. What now? What does it mean? Let's install Drupal 11 and see what's up. All right. Get me a coffee. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go on bloody well try and install this thing. I haven't planned this out. I haven't thought through it. I've just been going, hey, I've got to sit down and look at Drupal 11, and I might as well bring you guys along with me for the ride. So I've got to think through what I'm going to do while we're at it. The first thing to do will be, I think, create a dev environment. It's the easiest way. Because I did do a little bit of prep. I went and looked at pantheon.io, clicked around install Drupal, and there's no option yet to install Drupal 11. Now, a couple of things I want to be aware of. Because I'm building a site builders course, I'm aware that Drupal 11 has removed the installer module and installer theme from the UI, and recipes is out. Now, I don't know what that means for a site builder. If you want to install a custom module, you're supposed to use Composer? It's a bit beyond scope for a site builder. Don't know. With Starshot coming along so that people can just do Drupal CMS out of the box functionality and install recipes and things. What does that mean? Hey, if you're a Drupal person and you're watching this, what do you think that means? How does that affect a site builder who just wants to install Drupal, say, in a hosted web environment like Pantheon at the click of a button, doesn't want to be a developer dealing around with using Composer, which is a PHP package manager? I'm not sure. So that's a big question I've got. I heard a rumor that there's a rejigged admin menu. Let's see what we get with Drupal 11 out of the box. I don't think it's going to be hella exciting. Let me close some windows over here, and we'll skip over to the laptop screen. And me, am I a little bit high in the sky? Trying to get these things right. Okay. Zoom that in. And I'm going to cd to my workspace directory, make Drupal 11, cd Drupal 11. Now, first thing we're going to want to do, I'll use ddev to set up a Drupal development environment. Just to refresh my memory, of course, it's not something I do all the time. Let's open up a browser, go to ddev, go to the quick start docs and get started, which Linux. I've got DDev installed, create a project. We've done this bit. I just did in workspace instead of dev. DDev config, right? But we want to do it for Drupal. So I believe that's in there. Starting a project. Where's the bit that tells you how to configure a Drupal project, debugging, hosting and deployment, development, extending config usage, CMS settings, there's a CMS quick starts. That's what I'm looking for. That was hard to find. Okay. Down here, we should be able to find Drupal. This is cool. You see this? Let's zoom in a bit. Drupal 11. Well done, DDev. You guys are on top of it. Fantastic. That's all right. But Drupal 11's been out for about 3 weeks now. So we've done this bit. We've made a directory and moved to it. So we want to run DDev config, type Drupal, and then we're going to require recommended project 11, etc. So done. What have we got? DDev. Creating a new DDev project config in the current directory home bevan workspace Drupal 11. Once completed, your configuration will be written to the home workspace DDev config.yaml file, which is there. Oh, it's long. Very long. Create a doc root directory in web here. Home bevan workspace Drupal 11 web, configuring a Drupal project named Drupal 11 with the doc root web at there. Cool. For full details, use DDev describe. Unable to detect Drupal version, continuing. No settings PHP file exists, creating one. Okay, so it's created this config YAML, named Drupal 11, type Drupal, doc root web, PHP version 8.3, Nginx web server, xdebug not enabled, etc. Cool. Lots of config, and it created a settings file. We'll use Vim to go sites. It'll be in web sites default settings.php. Here we can do our local.settings.php. If we undo that, automatically generated include for settings managed by DDev. Let's have a look at that. Look, my nav skills are terrible. All right, here's our database settings. Has salt. State cache setting for Drupal 10 only. I think that means Drupal 11. 10 plus. This will prevent Drupal from setting read-only permissions. Nice, DDev. Oh, cool. I did not put that in by default. Does some really cool stuff in here. All right, don't really care about the rest of it. All right, automatically sets up mail pit and all sorts. DDev rocks. Okay. What have we got? Sorry, I just realized got Canva open over here. Go. DDev start. DDev start. Bring this off screen for a minute. Probably going to take a little while. While we're doing that, come back to me for a bit. Oh, messed up my hair. Shall I go and read up on Drupal 11? No, let's go back because we're done. That's DDev start. So now we've got to run DDev composer create. I swear this is a lot easier than Lando. Just it's kind of all just works. So we're going to do a DDev composer, which will run composer inside DDev, which set up a bunch of Docker containers for us. Create the Drupal recommended project number 11. So using PHP's composer to create a Drupal project with version 11, and all this runs inside DDev, not on our host machine. Keep it isolated, very nice. I think that'll take a little while. So while that's happening, Drupal.org, why have I got caps lock on? Doesn't matter. This has been happening on Drupal.org all week. The first time I go to it, I get a connection timed out. Don't know why. Here we go, logged in as me. If we go to news, where's the launch of Drupal 11? Just a few weeks ago. Drupal launches Drupal 11. Keep an eye on that's taking its time so we can keep reading. Drupal, the most powerful open source content management system for everyone from Fortune 500 enterprise companies to mission-driven non-profits and entrepreneurial small businesses, is launching the latest upgrade to its popular software. Drupal 11 continues enhancing the strengths of the platform. It makes structured content, workflows, and content government more flexible and easier for ambitious builders. What have we got a quote here? Drupal 11 is designed to empower ambitious site builders to build exceptional websites and to accelerate Drupal's innovation, says Dries Buytaert, founder and project lead of Drupal. With Drupal 11, we've made Drupal more intuitive, powerful, and flexible, ensuring it continues to lead in web development and digital experience creation. Very cool. That's my big question, isn't it? To empower ambitious site builders. It says site builders, not developers. I've got that big question. If you can't install a module or a theme through the UI and you have to use Composer, how's that? This latest version of Drupal brings together code and design for a refreshed CMS navigation experience with an updated toolbar. There it is. Told you I heard the admin toolbar and a collapsible left-hand menu, all designed to ensure seamless development experience. Okay, wouldn't that depend on the theme for the admin theme? With new recipes functionality, you can add new features to your website instantly by applying a set of predefined configuration. How do you do it though? How do you apply a recipe? A recipe can provide anything that can be configured in Drupal, from a simple content type to a full suite of features. You can create your own recipes to share or reuse, or apply recipes created by other Drupal users. Recipes are experimental in this release, but already usable and expected to be stable in Drupal 11. Now, while I'm going through all this, I need to jump into my other screen of OBS and start recording, of course. It's hard to record screen share, the non-screen share bits of this later on. Anyway, single directory components simplify front-end development by consolidating all necessary code into a single directory, making components self-contained and effortlessly reusable. So that's a developer, particularly for the front-end friendly thing. Drupal's high performance means it runs fast by default with swift page loading, and Drupal 11 is even faster than previous versions, running up to 50% faster on PHP 8.3. Don't think it's quite ready for PHP 8.4 yet. Accessible for every user. Drupal's core strengths include its accessibility, security, multilingual capabilities, and flexible features. Thousands of developers worldwide contribute their expertise to ensure that Drupal is continuously pioneering the industry in these strengths. Supported by a global community of domain experts, it offers multilingual support with over 100 languages. Drupal 11 improves upon these core strengths with various features suitable for developing simple websites or complex web applications. Drupal 11 improves upon these core strengths with various, that's what I just read. Accessibility is a key strength of Drupal. Nice. I care about that. Says Tim Doyle, CEO of the Drupal Association. Tim Doyle. Try and memorize that name, Tim Doyle. Pay attention. CEO of the Drupal Association. The open web is for everyone, and our continual focus on accessibility, multilingual capabilities, and flexibility is intended to ensure that Drupal is a beacon of inclusiveness in an online world where many try to build walls and barriers to entry. Ooh. Like who? Okay. With more features coming soon. All right, so these aren't out yet. Automatic updates and project browser. Okay, now that I think that's talking to my question about site builders installing things. Drupal's open source innovation keeps pressing ahead with the release of Drupal 11, including milestone features like automatic updates and project browser. Automatic updates is cool. These features will be key to the success of the new Drupal Starshot project, which will see Drupal become even easier to use for anyone wanting to unleash the power of the world's leading enterprise CMS. Owen Lansbury, Drupal Association Board Chair. I know Owen. Automatic updates module will apply patch level updates to Drupal core in a separate sandboxed copy of your site to keep you up and running without any interruptions. It can detect and report problems at every stage of the update process, so you don't have to discover them after an update is live. It automatically detects database updates and helps you run them during the process. I believe this implies this is not out yet. And from a site builder perspective, how do you set up your separate sandbox to do that? Wonder about the workflow around that. Don't know. Project Browser will make it easy for site builders to extend the functionality, look, and feel of Drupal. Great. Stupid spam phone calls. Go on silent phone. Silent mode. Okay. It provides a search interface in the... so let's start again. Project Browser will make it easy for site builders to extend the functionality, look and feel of Drupal. It provides a search interface in the extend section of the admin UI to find contributed modules and themes and research their capabilities. Once an extension is selected, instructions are provided on installing it in your site or without leaving your website. Right. But is that out yet? That's what I want to know from a site builder perspective. Next steps. To start using Drupal 11, visit the Drupal 11 landing page. Should have done that. If you have questions about upgrading to Drupal 11, check out the FAQ page. To get help onboarding to Drupal 11 or creating a digital experience from the ground up, connect with one of our Drupal certified partners located around the world about the Drupal Association. You can read about that if you like. That's interesting. We've learnt some things. Well, I have. Have you? Don't know. All right. Drupal 11 landing page. A little advertising here. You can watch that. Drupal 11 makes structured content workflows and content governance more flexible for the ambitious. Easily apply complex configurations with recipes, robust content staging workflow on your production site. Workspaces provide a powerful set of tools for managing content changes. Stage new content or preview a full site overhaul by using multiple workspaces on a single site. You can continue to make edits directly on the live site. That sounds cool. I want to know more about that. Is this a recipes page, workspaces page? Simplified front-end development with single directory components. Drupal now natively supports the single directory components approach to theming, provides a simplified front-end development workflow based on components, all necessary code for each. That's pretty cool. Acquia is running a webinar. No, they're not. They did in the sponsored content. Here's the future of Drupal and the Starshot initiative. So there's where you can read about recipes, but we've kind of covered them anyway. It's workspaces. The Workspaces module allows editors to prepare multiple new content items and publish them together for a coordinated campaign. Workspaces module allows editors to prepare multiple new content items and publish them together. Sounds interesting. Single directory components and the FAQ. I might go through those in a separate session. Let me know if you want me to. I want to learn a bit more about Workspaces module and go through the FAQ. Right. We've back to Drupal 11 setup. We've run ddev composer create new Drupal project locally. Head back to ddev. Install Drush. Drupal composer require Drush/Drush package. Run that. Okay, version 13 of Drush is installed. Update our config now. Not sure exactly what that did, but that's okay. Restart, I think it's just press Control C, not Control Shift C, Bevan. Restart ddev. And then we've got to install a Drupal site. Because if we browse to it now, we'll get to the Drupal install page. All right, that's going to take a little while. Let's want to read about Workspaces while we're here. Overview. I want to know more about Project Browser. Can I install that in preparation for my Site Builders course I'm building? Because that's the answer to how to Site Builders and set up these things. Project Browser. I wonder if it's in experimental. We'll find out. Might be available as a module set to experimental. Maybe. What is a workspace? A workspace is a copy of the live site that exists in parallel to the live site. It provides the ability to have multiple environments to work on a Drupal site where you can stage changes and then deploy them to the production site. That's awesome. In essence, a workspace is a set of configurations and content separated from the main site, which can be edited and tested without affecting the live site. The Workspace module contains an administrative user interface for managing workspaces. You can create and delete workspaces and switch between them to edit configurations and content. The main functionality for creating and managing workspaces. It allows you to define and set configurations and content that will be used in a workspace and switch between workspaces to manage content. Okay. Functions to deploy changes made in a workspace to the live site. You can choose which changes to deploy and when to deploy them. So actually it's in the same site, not on a separate hosting setting. I wonder if that applies to, is that what we were talking about when we were reading up on Drupal 11? Is that what it said about the automatic updates? Right? Automatic updates module will apply patch level updates to Drupal core in a separate sandbox copy of your site. Does that use workspaces for that? Does it? Or am I making an assumption? Oh, I'm making an assumption, but it doesn't explicitly say so. Using the workspace module, you can create multiple workspaces for development, testing, and staging. Each workspace can have its own set of configurations and content, allowing you to test changes without affecting the live site. You can also easily deploy changes from a workspace to the live site, making it easier to manage updates and changes in a controlled manner. Oh, how do you manage this from a CI/CD standpoint? Don't know. Overall, the Workspace module provides a powerful set of tools for managing changes to a Drupal site, allowing you to work more efficiently and effectively. Live, upcoming event, last minute fix. Workspaces are copies of live. Move, new, change, refresh your copy with changes from live. Typical scenario can look like this. Create a workplace, set up, create workspace. Add, change, delete content, review, pull changes from lives, resolve conflicts. It's very much like a version control workflow, but you do it all in the GUI or something. Okay. Cool. That's workspaces. All right. Now, DDev describe. Whoops. I'm going to zoom out a bit and browse to. There's our installation page. So that's what this command is going to do for us. It'll install Drupal from the command line instead of going through the UI. So let's do that. Let's just run it like this. It'll just call it Drupal 11 or something, I guess. We haven't specified a site name, account name admin, account pass admin, Drupal site install, -y, answer all the questions. Just go and do it then. Just reading in Drupal Slack. Because I just happened to read about workspaces and they're looking for presenters on new Drupal release cycle, recipes API, access policies API, state cache, PHP 8.3 new features, theming and front-end changes, PHP unit, Symfony 7, updates to single directory components, documentation, and Drupal 11 tutorials. And we just read and learned about workspaces, didn't we? Now, Drupal's installed for us. So let's go back to remove this core/install. There's our Drupal 11 install. Welcome, congratulations, and welcome to the Drupal community. You haven't created any front page content yet. Stuff about Drupal, blah, blah, blah. We'll log in with that admin. Don't save, never save. Okay, welcome to Drupal 11. Here we are. Let's never do that. What do I want to do first? Click on extend. All right. We can ignore this for now. We just installed. Add contributed modules. That'll take us to the module page on Drupal.org. Okay. New site builder is not going to know what to do with that, but that's okay. Workspaces. Dude, workspaces come in 10.3. So that's what someone's just... It's funny, I'm right in the middle of reading about it. Let's, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this one to go... grab that screenshot, edit, put a box around this. Of course, I want to go Okay, back to what we're doing. Workspaces is here. What about Project Browser? Is it available? Nope. I hate it when that does that. Project Browser. So, I guess you can't install modules through the UI at the moment in Drupal 11. It's interesting. Apparently, workspaces were added in Drupal 8. Interesting. I've never heard of them. Okay. Interesting then. Right, so what about recipes? No, there's no module for it. I don't know how to manage recipes. Apparently workspaces were added in Drupal 8 and they are in a pretty bad state. I added them to my curriculum, removed them to buggy. Interesting. I don't know. Right, so what do I want to do then? I don't know. See, for the moment, how am I going to handle? We need to sort out Project Browser. If I want to do my site building course and have a site builder, yet then they're going to have to find a way to install Project Browser. Drupal 11's not going to cut it yet. Drupal Project Browser. Is it in a contrib module? The project browser makes it easy for site builders to find modules once selected instructions are provided on how to install the modules on your site. Instructions. Okay, so Workspaces just got marked as stable. Excellent. That makes sense then. The UI is intended to be faster and easier to use with enhanced filtering capabilities to provide a streamlined view of projects. This is a decoupled component that queries the Drupal.org API in real time to ensure that the content is easily accessible and up to date. Our goal is to make it easier to find and install modules for people that are 1, new to Drupal, and 2, site builders. Bam. Okay. Developers will also find this valuable since it provides them with the composer commands to get the modules. You want my site builders to use Composer. Okay. All right. Well, if that's the way it is, then that's the way it is. Want to try it now? Spin up a demo on Gitpod. When using Gitpod for the first time, you'll need to log in. I want to do it in my local dev. Strategic Initiative. This module is part of a Drupal core strategic initiative. I want to go and have a look at that down the track. Created by Drupal founder Dries Buytaert. See the initiative page for details. If you'd like to get involved, reach out to the Project Browser channel in the Drupal Slack channel. How does this module work? After installing this module, a Browse tab appears with the Extend section of the admin interface. You can search through Drupal's modules and find just the right one for your use case. Enabling this module will allow you to browse contributed Drupal modules inside your Drupal site. Future updates will also enable you to create your own plugin so you can make your own project browser for your organization. Cool. Requirements, none. Drupal 10 plus. Recommended modules, libraries, none. Recommended use cases. Use this module on your site when you want to explore and add new functionality and features to your site. Similar projects, marketplaces, are a common pattern in modern software where users can find and enhance their tech by shopping for add-ons. Apple's App Store, WordPress's plugin browser, the Google Play Store. These are all paradigms that can be brought to Drupal, and this is our attempt at doing so. Figma designs, how to contribute, other things to know. The beta line of Project Browser currently requires some extra configuration steps if you want to use the option for installing from the UI. You can install from the UI. Note that the web user will need write access to your project codebase for this to ever work, of course. It means that the web server it's hosted on needs to be able to write to the files where this module gets installed, of course. The intention is these are run in local development environments, for example, DDev. There are additional instructions that can be run to make it work in Drupal pod as well. And that's the DDev setup instructions. Okay, so you've got to at least install this with Composer for the moment. Okay. All right. So, let's read more about the initiative then, because what have we got to do here? Let's read about the initiative and then get on to how to set it up in DDev. Project Browser Initiative. The Project Browser makes it easy for site builders to find and install modules. That's what we want. The problem, Drupal is relatively hard to use, especially for newer users. One of the very first things nearly all users attempt to do is find and install contributed modules. Yes, today, finding and installing modules requires too many steps. Some steps require you to leave your Drupal site and navigate to drupal.org. Other steps require technical skills such as using Composer on the command line. Our goal is to make it easier to find and install modules for people that are 1, new to Drupal, and that are 2, site builders. Yes. Our primary persona is people that are new to Drupal, that have little to no developer experience. And they wrote it again. Our primary persona may not be comfortable using the command line or Git, and may not be comfortable interpreting things like open bug count or test coverage in order to evaluate modules. We'd like experienced site builders to also use the project browser, but they are a secondary audience. For this initiative, we will assume that our target user has already installed Drupal, possibly through a one-click installation in Drupal Ocean, Simply Test Me, Pantheon, Acquia, etc. They will be using the project browser inside their Drupal site in order to browse, filter, identify, and install modules that they want to use. So that's what I'm looking at, Pantheon. Might be worth looking at some of these depending on what we can get. While I'm working on my course. There will likely be times when we need to compromise or make decisions on what to focus on. Here is how we will make user experience trade-offs when we have to. When we have to prioritize the experience of new versus experienced Drupal users, we will prioritize new users. Excellent for my purposes. When we have to prioritize between non-developer users and developer users, we will prioritize non-developer users. Fine. The approach, perjuries. There is a current need for something like this in Drupal. We are losing people who abandon usage of Drupal because once core is installed, they are at a loss for what to do next. If we can help in some way right now, that would be a huge value add to Drupal. To that end, we are working quickly to ship a usable MVP into the contrib space, which I think we've got. After that, the intent is to iterate on the MVP to tailor it to our specific audiences and allow more flexibility in usage and to get it into core. Leadership. The initiative leads appointed by Dries for this initiative are Chris Wells and Leslie Glynn. Getting involved. We've got the project browser in Slack, and they have meetings at Wednesdays. I have to work out the time in Australia for what that is. We also meet in the project browser channel on Tuesdays. Wouldn't mind going and attending those. Our contrib project is that. We've already found that in the one dev branch, and we are using that issue queue to record meeting notes and file resources. ID issue queue introduction during the 2021 DrupalCon North America. Dries note. How do I miss this stuff? Project brief written by Dries. Tagged issues. Oops. A list of modules on Drupal.org. Can run reports from the master planning document. Latest designs in Figma. All right. The outer set. I want to look at the images on the these. So that's the project browser screenshot. Cool. Learning something today, Bevan. How to set up in DDEV. Well, I want to know how to... Go back this way. I want to know how to... What does it say about... For this initiative, we'll assume that our target user has already installed Drupal for the initiative and possibly through one-click installation in Pantheon, etc. Right. Project Browser Beta 2 set up on DDEV. These instructions describe setting up Drupal with Project Browser on DDEV for local testing and development. It is assumed that DDEV is already set up on your computer. Yes, it is. Pardon me. From command line to prompt, go to the directory where you keep projects. Pardon me. Make directory, development DDEV. That's Drupal 10, we did 11, start, create a Drupal project, provide Drush, we did all this. Install the project browser with Composer. Think, how am I going to build my Drupal 11 Site Builders course? Because by the time I get it built, this might be the case. Ooh, when I can't do it on Pantheon yet. Might have to fake it for the moment and install this Composer and push it. Figure out an easy way to get this done that's not super hard. Install automatic updates. Note this may require you to change your minimum stability in your Composer JSON to beta. To do so, use DDEV Composer coming instead. I wish they'd say why they do things like that. Why do I need automatic updates? If you install Drush, you may use it for site installation and enabling modules. If not, we'll need to launch Drupal in the browser to install. Run from the command line DDEV launch. Follow the prompts in your browser to install Drupal. Drupal's installed already because we've already installed it. When logged in as admin, you should be on completion of installation. Select extend. Use the filter box to find package manager. Select it and click install. Note you may get a warning about available updates. You can ignore this. Use filter box to find project browser. Select it, click install. That's what you just said. The main project browser module can ignore project browser devel and project browser source example. Package manager, project browser, package manager. Select configuration from the top menu bar, then find the development section and click project browser under this. On the project browser settings, the first option will be allow installing via UI, experimental. Tick the checkbox. Yeah. Select extend from the click browse on the select extend from the top menu bar, then click browse on the sub menu. Okay, projects on the project browser will now show an add and install button that will install the module directly on the site. Building the app with DDev. If you change the Svelte source files, you will need to rebuild the app with Yarn. I don't want to build it, right? That's where we've gone separate. Okay, so got to install project browser. Do it. Do it. Might take its time. Pulling down project browser. And then automatic updates. Wonder why you need automatic updates. I wish it said why. Anyone know why? If you know why you need automatic updates, please let me know. I'd love to know why. What's going on with Slack? Okay, we seem to be in a little bit of a purgatory, aren't we? If I want to build a site builders course, I might as well aim it at Drupal 11. Can't install modules through the UI because they removed the settings, but you got to install Project Manager. Anyway, how's this going down here? Cool, that's done now. Automatic updates. Now, should we have really done dev? See, why do they say that? Okay, we'll go with dev. Dev's the latest. Automatic updates, at least 3. I want to check that. What's Drupal.org/project automatic updates. Yeah, 3 is released. 3.16. Stable. All green. Okay. Happy to install. What is that? Okay. All right, we got a warning about that. The minimum stability, we got to run this. And now run automatic updates. Okay. All right. Don't need to launch because we had it here somewhere. Oh no. Here, now refresh this page. Now we should see project browser.